Greetings, everyone. Just pulling my stuff together, getting ready to put this live on my IG. All right. Okay. Oof. Let's see here. So, how is everyone doing this morning? I decided at the very last minute to do a temple service this morning. I told you guys on I think it was Thursday or Friday that I wasn't going to, but at the last minute, I'm gonna tell you why I did decide to do a temple service today. So, my name is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. And if you don't know, you are now tuned in to the temple service of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Right now, the temple is my home. So let's see if I can position this a little better. All right. So, let's see. Greetings, Balance and Carlotta and 1283 on IG. That's not going to work. Let's see. That's going to have to do. All right. So, the reason I decided, and I'm bustling around because I have a ton to do today. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let this day pass without doing a temple service, even, if it's not servicey, if you will. And I should say something about that too. A lot has happened over the last week, over the last 2 weeks, over the last 3 weeks, child. A lot has happened. And, but especially over these last few days. And so I should have got water. And so I really wanted to take the time to talk about it. Let me tell you, first of all, greetings. Thank you all for tuning in on this lovely Sunday, December 10th. I have so much to say. I should get water. So let me get water because I have so much to say. Yeah, I should get water. Sorry about that. All right. Sorry about that, you guys, but I've been in here hacking up a storm. Had I not gotten that, so let me grab this too. So I have a lot to say today, and I want to get it all in before I shift gears. Greetings, new spiritual growth. Before I shift gears into what is going to be a busy day. Okay? A lot happened this week. And I have a sneaking suspicion a lot is going to continue to be unfolding radically and rapidly as we prepare once again to shift out of this Pluto and Capricorn energy that we're in right now, where we transition out of that on January. Let's see. Ooh, I don't have it out. January 20th, I believe. We shift into Pluto in Aquarius till about September. No, till about no. We shift into childhood. I'll tell you about it another day. Anyway, big energy because this Pluto, this last year, which I've been talking to y'all about for 2 years, this last year that we're entering into 2024 is this last hoorah of seesaw energy of Pluto shifting back and forth from Capricorn to Aquarius, until it finally shifts permanently into Aquarius on November 19th. On November 19th of 2024, just a couple of weeks after this next big dumbass election. And what that energy represents, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. I posted all the workshops on America's First Pluto return, so you can go back into my videos and donate, because everybody who caught that workshop live, it was a 7-week workshop that I did at the beginning of last year, 2022, preparing us for America's First Pluto returns. This is big. How it is still not the news of the day is beyond me, especially going into this year that we're going into. It is the news of the day. Regardless of everything else that's happening, it is the news of the day every fucking day. Everything is happening within the context of America's First Pluto returns. It is setting the stage for how our future is going to look. Period. Point blank. You feel me? So this energy that is defined by Pluto transitioning into Aquarius, and for those of you who have been following my page for the last 2 years since I started teaching this workshop, then you know that energy from a Yoruba perspective is the energy of Oya and Shango coming together, and they will remain together. They will remain together in this dance until they finally partner with each other on November 19th of 2024, and there they will remain until their Pluto will remain in Aquarius until 2044. 20 years. You understand? This is age-changing, age-defining, world transformative, empire-ending energy that we must plug into. Now, Aquarius energy is also rapid. So the transformation, the change, the undoing, the rebuilding, everything is sped up. Everything is accelerated. So I am trying to retain a level of calm, even though every single day I am internalizing the urgency of what this means, right? That's one thing. Now, I'm going to tell you, the reason I'm telling you this is because we also have to be paying attention, much more attention spiritually, but not just spiritually, because there's a way that we treat spirituality as this thing that is separate from the rest of our lives. It's how we've been trained. It's how we've been conditioned. You know, we've been conditioned to see our spiritual selves outside of our work selves, and outside of our play selves, and outside of the old adage that we all grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Do your dirt on Friday and Saturday and repent on Sunday. Feel me? There's this dichotomization, this this wedge placed in between the different areas of our life. And spirituality, especially how it's showing its face right now, is it's intricate and interwoven and all connecting and ever present, ever present all the time, in your workspace, in your home life, in your sex life, in your playtime. It's ever present. And what is required right now is for us to be ever clear. It is required for us to be ever present as well. It is necessary. It is necessary for us to, it's my mantra. I did like 3 different videos on it. To see signs. To be still, to be clear, to be quiet, to be loud, to see signs. Do you see signs when they are presented to you? Because they are about to be presented to you in a most radical way. Let me tell you why I'm doing this temple service today, even though I got 1,000 things to do today. And I swore I wasn't going to do no temple service today because I got shit to do. But this is important. I woke up at 3:17 this morning. Greetings, Asia. I woke up at 3:17. Greetings, Frank. I woke up at 3:17 a.m. from a dream, child. The dream was so vivid. It was so clear. It was so clear. It was such a challenge, this dream. Greetings, Paul. Oh, it was so deep, yo. Because, and hence the reason for the title, right? The title for today's talk is We Give Thanks to All That Was, Is, and Will Be. And so I woke up today. Now I'll give you some context in a minute, but let me go ahead and tell you about this dream. I woke up from this dream this morning, and I was watching my life, my past, situations in my I was watching my life like a movie in my dream today when I woke up this early. And in the dream, the mother says to me, greetings, totally Roray. In the dream, the mother told me, she said, baby, you have always been cared for. Greetings, Maya Soval. You have always been supported. You have always been cared for. You have always had a relative life of ease. Yes, I get it. I can recount, and sometimes I do, because that's what we do. I can recount the ways and the many times I have suffered heartbreak and abuse and mistreatment and reductiveness and all of the things. We can all recount the many terrible things. Amaya, hey, we can all recount the myriad of ways that we have been harmed and mistreated and misused and whatever. We can do that shit with relative ease. Let me tell you about this motherfucker who did this. Let me tell you about this so-and-so who did this. Let me tell you what this trick did to me. Let me tell you what this motherfucker said to me. We can recount pretty easy our trauma, our mistreatment, whatever. But Spirit woke me up today, baby. She said, because you have to be still enough to recount and to look back with the same gravity of ease, the harms done to you. You have to recount how fucking fortunate you are, how fucking fortunate you have been. Oh, how blessed you have been, how cared for you have been, how nurtured you have been. And the problem is, Cassandra, this is my mother telling me this morning at 3:00 in the damn morning. The problem is that when you can recount with ease all the harms, all the hurt, all the bad, but you cannot recall and recount with ease the good, the extraordinary, the beautiful, the unbelievable, the amazing, the miracles. What you have done is you have not truly lived in gratitude. You haven't. You haven't lived in gratitude, boo. You need to recall. Oh, I got a word for y'all today because y'all ain't going to believe the shit I'm about to tell you. You can recall with ease the bad. Now you need to get your ass up. And Spirit wouldn't let me go back to sleep, baby. Get your ass up. Pull out a pen and a piece of paper. I was just telling y'all last week, I haven't journaled in months. And that ain't me. I journal every day. All of a sudden, I don't want to journal. I got it this morning and journal for the first time since like August. And she said, bitch, you gonna wake up on this morning before you do any goddamn else, anything else. You gonna get up in here and you are going to sit with your past. You're gonna sit with it. You're going to sit with every single person that has housed you, that has cared for you, that has watched out for you, that has had your back, that has helped you in the most extraordinary ways. And you are going to be grateful in real time for your past. Oh my God. You are going to be grateful for your past on this morning because you have so much to be grateful for, so much to be grateful for. Why would you lament? Why would you be frustrated or angry? Yes, I get it. There's tons happening in the world for any one of us to be in our feelings about, to be woeful about, to be lamentful for. But every last one of us, especially those of us in the West, if we sit for a moment and recount without any bad, every blessing, every person attached to that blessing, say their name out loud and say thank you after. Baby, when I tell you I sat up in here this morning and wrote 8 pages of nothing but this person housed me and I was ungrateful. Thank you, this person. Listen, I'm going to tell you. Yes. Not just ungrateful. When I say ungrateful, I mean ungrateful in action. Do you see? Let me tell you what I wrote. I woke up from a dream this morning. The goddess woke me up from a dream this morning telling me she has always had my back, but I have not always been grateful, that I need to be grateful in the past tense to break the curses I've unknowingly cast on my own life. That's what I wrote at 3:00 in the goddamn morning. You hear me? That I need to be grateful in the past tense to break the curses I have unknowingly cast on my own life. In the dream, I was back in the house that Paul and his wife in St. Petersburg allowed me to live in. She said loud in that dream, "It was yours. The house was yours, and you gave it away for a man." That's what she said. She went on to say that the gifts came easily, and every time you gave them away, and too often you gave these gifts away because of a man. Each time the gifts would have given you so much more than you have now. Angie Lane gave me free housing and I was ungrateful. Thank you, Angie, for housing me. Dale literally handed me my first apartment and I was ungrateful. Thank you, Dale. Sigmund took such good care of me when I was pregnant and we lived together and I was ungrateful. Thank you, Sigmund. And the list goes on and 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 on for motherfucking pages and pages and pages and pages of people. It's too easy for us to forget how fortunate we are. It's too easy. It's too easy to forget the people who are attached to every blessing we've ever experienced. It's too easy. Ooh, child. It's too easy to thank God or thank Jesus or thank some other somewhere the fuck else for blessings that were directly attached to a human to whom we were not grateful. Thank the Lord. Thank Jesus. Thank this and that, as if God does not live in every single human being. That we must be grateful for their presence, for their material self, for their flesh, for intervening on our behalf. Thank you, Aunt Sheila, for housing me when I was ungrateful. Thank you, so on and so on and so on. Baby, people have always been in my life to catch me. People have always been in my life to surround me. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not just because I have a winning personality, which I realize I do. It's not just because I have wonderful features, because I know I do. It's not just because I happen to be articulate or retain information well and feed it back to the many well, which I do. It is because this is how she uses us. This is how she uses us. I am supported, and in return, I support others. And that's another thing I gotta sit with, y'all. Is because I too have not only been ungrateful, I have, there's this what is it? It's in a piece that Mao Zedong did called Combat Liberalism, and he talks about those who herald themselves as great revolutionaries while not basically like putting in the same gravity of work or something to that. That's a horrible misquote, but basically it's like, it's easy for us, it's easy for me to recount also the ways in which I've helped others, right? I do volunteer work, and I'm a healer, and I've put my hands on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I've had people tell me, damn, my life was improved by you putting your hands on me, right? I can recount that. Greetings, Annie. Sometimes that's okay. I don't have a problem tooting my own horn. I know where my skills come from. My skills come from my big mama. My skills come from my mama. My skills come from my grandmama. My skills come from all the women and all the lineages, all the way back to the beginning of the one. So I do not have a problem tooting my own horn. You feel me? I do not. I do not have a problem shouting out the ways that I have the ability to show up for others. I do not. However, if these three things that I'm talking about are not balanced, then arrogance sets in. It makes it easier to become ungrateful. You understand? When you think about all the things that are bad, when you shout yourself out for how awesome you are in the world and how much you've done for others, but gratitude isn't squarely placed in the middle. I have had the ability to show up for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people because of these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who have shown up for me. This is why I can be who I am right now. Every single one of the names that I wrote in this book this morning is responsible for me, is responsible for who I am, is responsible for how I came to be, who I came to be. Child, look, no matter how seemingly insignificant they think their presence in my life has been because of my inability at the time to show the proper gratitude, not one of them is insignificant. Not one. That's why I had to sit up in this motherfucker this morning and name every single person. And that's just the people I lived with or housed me in some way, whether it was for a couple of days because I came into town, or whether it was I lived with them or whatever. Baby, pages of this. People I had forgotten. People whose names I had forgotten. Do you understand me? Every single one of them is significant. Every single one. I sat here this morning at 3:00 in tears writing this list because every name that I wrote, there were beautiful memories attached to it. And how could I not live in daily gratitude of my past. How could I complain about my past? How could I complain about my life? Every single person listed here, even if we do not talk anymore, even if we are not friends or companions anymore, they are responsible for who I am right now. They are responsible. They are responsible for who I have become. They are responsible because they cared. Because they cared enough. They cared enough to be present in my life, to show up for me in the way that they did. And my lack of demonstration of gratitude was typically an action. It was not, and it's funny because so many of the things that I preached to my daughter about in writing this list this morning, I was like, oh, the thing that I'm preaching to her about that is so easy for me to see in her, she got from me. And I didn't even recognize it. She got from me. You understand the behaviors that I critique my daughter on, the ways that she drops the ball. I was like, damn. In this morning, I'm like, oh my God, she is me. She is mirroring my behavior in the past, my lack of gratitude in the past, childhood. So that happened because I got more to tell you. So in the past, on one of these days, maybe tomorrow, I'm not going to do it today because the list is long, but I might read this list out loud just so that they know, even if they never see this, just so that it's out loud in the world. So a while ago, I was telling you guys about this sister. Her name is Alma Ayala. She reads the Akashic records. She was the first person to open my records. And she's a wonderful, wonderful human being. Every time I tell y'all, if y'all need to get your records open, I'm always saying, give me a call because this is the one you need to have open your records. You feel me? She gave me a prayer called the forgiveness prayer, which I prayed like a full-on mantra when I was driving across country. I was like, I'm not going to be distracted by music the whole way. There were hours and hours and hours of driving where I had no music playing. All I was doing was reciting the forgiveness prayer. And it works. It works. It works. It works. Now, I will say I'm going to continue to say this. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Okay? There is not one truth. There are multiple truths. There can be multiple things true at the same time. I'm saying that because the forgiveness prayer, even though in real time I saw it work magic in my life driving across this country over 6 weeks, and I will call on y'all to do that too. I'm going to talk to you about the prayer. I'm going to tell you the prayer, and then I'm going to tell you something else. Because oftentimes, greetings, Abasi. So oftentimes, forgiveness in this culture, forgiveness in this society is a weapon used to bludgeon the oppressed. Forgiveness is a weapon used to bludgeon the oppressed. The reason I am telling you that two things can be true at the same time is that we can still call on spirit for a restoration. Greetings, Lotus Flower. We can still call on spirit, petition the mother for justice, for revenge. Yes, 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 yes. And it is a righteous and just petition. We can still petition the mother for justice, for revenge, for redemption. We can, because the place that it comes from is righteous. Mm-hmm. And so I had a hard time for a long time reconciling. Greetings, Shauna Michelle. I had a long time reconciling forgiveness and rage, forgiveness and justice, forgiveness and revenge. I had a hard time reconciling it, right? And so when I went back after a few years, because I saw in real time. If I'm going to one of these days sit and try to do a hyper condensed version of what the fuck happened to me when I drove from Florida to California over 6 weeks, it was extraordinary. It was extraordinary. Every single day of it, every single stop was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I'm telling you, I set out to do that trip very deliberately. I had 3 readings done for myself before I hit the road. 3 readings from 3 different people, from 3 different traditions before I hit the road. I said, when I got my Akashic Records readings was one of them, and she gave me the forgiveness prayer. I said, this is so on time. I'm going to do the forgiveness prayer all the way across the country, driving for hours and hours and hours, reciting the forgiveness prayer. I downloaded one book, one audiobook to listen to while I was driving across the country. It was the 365 Days of Meditations and Affirmations by Ian Van Zant. I'm not a huge fan of Ian Van Zant, but that book is extraordinary. I downloaded it and listened every day to what she had to say about thankfulness and gratitude, forgiveness and courage, and so on and so on and so forth. That, and I'm telling you, being in a road trip meditation, a country long meditation with spirit, deliberately not being distracted, sleeping on the fucking dirt 99% of the way. Baby, the prayer worked. It cleared out so many cobwebs. And then the prayer that I created for myself, that I too meditated on the whole way across the country, was, Spirit, allow me to be open to receive what I need to know, what I need to see, who I need to meet, even if it makes me uncomfortable. Allow me to be able to receive. Allow me to be open to receive that which is for me, even if it makes me uncomfortable. All the way across the country, just allow me to be open to receive. Allow me to be open to receive what is for me, even if it makes me uncomfortable. Allow me to be open to receive. And that shit changed me. So fast forward a few years, I'm comfortable in California. I'm having all these awesome experiences, whatever, meeting all these dope ass people, whatever. And it's easy once we get settled. It's easy once we get, accustomed to. And it's easy to forget magic. It's easy to forget what facilitated that magic. What came before the magic started pouring in, right? And so when I got out here, I had been really, when I got settled and when, things happened, and in this time that I've been out here by myself, I've been in my apartment now a little over a year by myself, I was feeling more of what I talked about earlier, the bad, recounting the bad, reliving the bad. Well, that time when, and not realizing the correlation between that, the reliving the bad, the remembering the bad, and all of that shit. The correlation between that and why I felt so stuck in my body and so anxious in my surroundings and so uncertain of my future and all of these things that I haven't felt in a long time. Uncertain, anxious, I haven't felt that shit in a long time. Frustrated, angry, I haven't felt that shit in a long time. And I had been counseling others for some time about the use of the forgiveness prayer. I've sent it to several people, the use of the forgiveness prayer. And all the while, I was no longer saying it. Because in my mind, I was still having this weird dichotomy that would not allow me to reconcile the fact that I could be forgiving, I could be grateful, and I could still petition for justice and revenge. That the two are not mutually exclusive, right? The two are not mutually exclusive, because I'm telling you something. Forgiveness The way that it has been imposed on our understanding has been a weapon used to subdue the righteous rage and indignation of the oppressed. It has been a weapon used to bludgeon the damn hell out of the oppressed. We can still call on the power that comes from a forgiving heart and a forgiving spirit, so that we are not burdened, that our heart is not burdened and labored by that shit. We can still have a calm. We can still experience a calm child and a peace that still allows for us to petition our mother for revenge and rage. That still allows us to petition our mother for wrongs made right, for justice. For justice. We can still petition the mother for a righting of every wrong, and whatever is required for that right to be made, for that wrong to be made right. We can still petition for that and still ask for forgiveness, still give forgiveness. I had a hard time until this morning. I had a hard time reconciling. How can I still do the forgiveness prayer? Do I still believe the forgiveness prayer? Do I want to give forgiveness to everybody? That everybody, listen, just put the prayer out. Forgiveness goes to who deserves it. You hear me? Forgiveness goes to who deserves it. Just put it out. It's not saying, listen, I want to tell you, the forgiveness prayer is not saying, I forgive those. This is me. This is my journey. This is how I am experiencing it. I do not forgive those who do not ask for forgiveness, who are not requiring forgiveness, whose energy is saying that they don't give a fuck about forgiveness. I don't forgive Elon Musk. I don't forgive Jeff Bezos. I don't forgive Donald Trump. I don't forgive Biden. I don't forgive Hitler. I don't forgive any wrongdoers who are on the earth for the sole purpose of exploiting human beings. That ain't who the prayer is for, boo. It's not who the prayer was for. These people who I woke up at 3:00 in the morning saying, I have not shown proper gratitude to the people who have been present in my life, who have impacted my life in a way that I can sit here with the clarity that I have, with the ability that I have to hear my mother when she speaks. These people contributed to that, whether they know it or not. These people who have shown up in my life, who have protected my life, who have surrounded me, who have shown up for me, even in the most seemingly minuscule ways. Their presence has been impactful. Their presence has transformed me as a human. Who I am is because of every single name on this list and then some. Every single person. Every single person. And I'm going to tell you that because another thing that came with my lack of gratitude in my past was entitlement. And I'm going to tell you, that is a hard one. Entitlement, that's a hard one. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. Woo! It's a hard one. Because if you feel entitled, it's damn near impossible for you to feel grateful. Woo. Let me tell you, entitlement is a sickness. But multiple things can be true at one time. Multiple things can be true at one time. Entitlement, capitalist entitlement. Let me clarify. Capitalist entitlement makes it almost impossible to be grateful, truly grateful, deeply grateful. And I have experienced that, man. I have experienced that because let me tell you something. I love Africans. I love us. I love black skin, brown skin. I love black people. I love us. I love us. It is a mantra of mine that everybody on the planet need to initiate a campaign. How have Black people enriched my life? Let me count the ways, because we have. Our presence on the planet has enriched everyone on the planet. Everybody who is not African, everybody who is not Black skinned need to be initiating a campaign. How have Black people enriched my life? Let me count the ways. Way number 225 million. La 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 la. Let me count the ways. While I can say that, and it is true, because multiple things can be true at the same time. This list, and I have been personally blessed by Black skinned people. But when I sat down here to write this list out, y'all, and this is what I'm saying about entitlement and about gratitude and about entitlement and gratitude. So many people on this list this morning, so many people on this list this morning that I woke up at 3:17 to write from a dream about a home that should have been mine. And I blasphemed the blessing to go chasing after my husband's ex-husband now. You feel me? So many people on this list are white, have been white, and without a second thought have shown up in extraordinary ways to bless my life. Entitlement makes it difficult to be truly grateful, because as a Black woman, I recognize how our people have suffered, what has been taken from our people, what legacies have been stolen from our people. That's why I'm saying multiple things can be true at the same time. I have a right to acknowledge what has been stolen from us, what has been taken from us, the privilege that has been afforded others at our expense. I can acknowledge that and still be grateful when individuals enter into my life and without any history, without any historical understanding, show the fuck up in extraordinary ways. And there are too many white people on this list who have done just that. This white man and his wife were literally trying to give me a house. That's the dream. That's what woke me up, was the memory of this house. And Paul telling me, why would you move? We want you to have the house. Why would you leave? We want you to have the house. You understand? I'm telling you, extraordinary ways people have shown up in my life. And because we are not present, and because at whatever time in your life, it's not a criticism of my life. It's not. That's not what's happening here. It is an acknowledgement that even as the past has gone, the past still exists. The past still exists in the present. The past is forever shaping the future and our understanding of the past. Our acknowledgement of the past is still shaping the future. What does this mean for me to wake up at 3:17 this morning and write down the many ways that people have shown up, supported, and housed me and asked nothing of me? It is to be grateful, not just in the moment. Yes, that's important. To be grateful every day, to do gratitude rituals every day. Yes, to make offerings to the mother, to display in real time this gratitude that you have for her and her impact on your life. Yes, all those things that I say. Yes, right the fuck on. But this morning she was like, baby, that's not enough. You have an extraordinary past. Yes, there have been hurts and harms in your past, but you focus way too much on that, because the fucking hurts and harms pale in comparison to the many ways that your past has been blessed and fortunate. And we need you to see that before you can move on. We need you to see the ways that your past is constantly showing up in your present. That's why you're fortunate. Because you always have. You were born fortunate. You were born fortunate, Cassandra. Now you have to remember the ways that this fortune has shown up in your life. You have to call the names of every person that has blessed you so that they too can continue to be blessed, that they too can continue to be supported, that they too, even if they don't ever hear you say it, so that they too, through the speaking, what? Of conspiracies. This is a conspiracy I'm speaking to you right now. A conspiracy of fortune, a conspiracy of healing, a conspiracy of wholeness, a conspiracy of acknowledgement that we are forever surrounded, not just by Mother Earth, because it's easy for us to say, okay, well, the Mother Earth shows up like this. She shows up like that. She shows up like this. But we, as the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, cannot be bogged down in old shit, in old ways of doing things. God is us. God is us. God is everybody that shows up in your life to be a lesson to you, to be a fortune to you, to support you, even in the most minuscule ways. They support you, and in that moment, you are changed by them. If you want to thank God for that, thank them out of your mouth, sincerely and in action. Say their names with love on your tongue as they bless you. Spirit had me write these people's names down. Child from childhood, people who have shown up for me in extraordinary ways. And until this morning, I had not thought about the great majority of them for years and years and years and years and years. Why she woke me up like that? Now, let me tell you, I'm going to go back to the forgiveness prayer, but I told you I still have a lot to tell y'all because this weekend has been radical, approaching this last new moon of the year. So I went to work. I told y'all I took a night job. I'm doing massages at night, late night. Sometimes I'm not getting home till 1 o'clock in the morning, doing out calls at people's houses. And Thursday night, I got back from an out call. I guess it was around 10 o'clock. It was around 9:30 because I was trying to rush to my neighborhood bar so I could get my drink and my food. They got great bar food. I was like, I'm trying to get to my spot before the kitchen closed. And I pulled in the parking lot of my spot that I go to like literally 3 days a week. I go to this bar. And I sat in the parking lot for a second. I was like, no, I don't want to eat yet. I'm hungry, but let me go to the bourbon room. And this is on a Thursday, relatively off night, relatively dead night here. So I go to the bourbon room, which is a few blocks down the road. I was like, if it's not popping at the bourbon room, I still got plenty of time to come back down here and catch food. So I go to the bourbon room and it's dead. There's like 4 or 5 people sitting at the bar. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I remembered one of the managers was telling me that I thought it was the play Edward Scissorhands that was supposed to be playing there that night. And when I found out it wasn't, I was going to leave. I was like, I could go in here and see Edward Scissorhands live. Cool, right? When the door guy told me that it wasn't Edward Scissorhands, I was like, dang. I was like, well, let me go. Let me use the bathroom. Let me pee real quick. I'm going to go down the street and go back to my favorite bar so I can get my grub. You feel me? As I'm walking out of the bathroom and I'm getting ready to leave, I'm telling the door guy, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and go. And he's like, you leaving? I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. He was like, Debbie Gibson is playing in the concert hall. I was like, oh, that's cool. He's like, no, you need to go see Debbie Gibson for a little bit, just a little bit, because they never charge me to see a show. I go in there, I see every show for free. Every single show I've ever gone to at the Bourbon Room, they fucking love my ass there. They're like, oh, come on in, girl, just come see the show. The shows are usually $40 to $75 a show. I never pay. So again, blessing. You feel me? Blessing. Just fortunate. Okay. Baby, let me tell you what happened when I walked up in here. I've never been a Debbie Gibson fan. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Everybody has been. Cool. It was like, oh, this is cute and nostalgic. I could go see Debbie Gibson for a minute. I walk up in this fucking concert hall, y'all. And before I even take notice of what's happening on the stage, I'm looking around and I look to my right and I see a guy sitting against the wall. And I'm like, he had a lot of facial hair. He looked a little older. So I was like, Chris? He was like, Cassandra? Let me tell you something. I almost did not stay. The door guy was like, girl, take your ass in there and go see Debbie Gibson, of whom I was not the least bit interested in watching. But I was like, okay, right? I went there because of Chris. Baby, let me tell you about this kid, this man. When I met Chris, it was because he was playing guitar in a band with a dear friend of mine, Kenny Walker. They were playing in a band and they needed a singer. And Kenny asked me to sing for the band. Chris was 19, I think, 19 or 20 years old. I was 24 or 25. 24, 25 years old. I played in a band with this man 22, 24 years ago. I haven't seen his face in 10 years. I walk in and the first face I see is Chris sitting against the wall. I was like, what the fuck? Oh my God. We were in a band together in St. Petersburg, Florida. Here we are in some random hole in the wall dive ass bar in LA. And I see this dude that I played in a band with 22 years ago. And we start talking, we start catching up because it's crazy, right? And he says, I said, man, I'm here all the time. He was like, how? He said, I'm here literally every week. I was like, no, the fuck you are not. I said, I just had my birthday party here. I'm here twice a week at least. I know all the bartenders. I know all the managers. I never see you here. He was like, I was here every week, 5 days a week for 6 weeks because he was the sound guy for this play, the Obama play. I was like, get the hell out of here. He says, I work around the corner. I don't know if you guys remember, but in February of this year, I went and applied to music school. I told y'all I'm applied to music school. I'm in the process of getting the things that they need for me to get approved to come into the program. The music school is right down the street from my house. I walked to the program. It's called Music Institute, right? And I was so hyped. And then 3 weeks later, my mother was diagnosed with cancer and it pumped the brakes on that. Remember that? He works at the Music Institute. I was like, for how long? He was like, for years. I was like, I did a whole 8-hour tour at that school. How have we missed each other? He lives literally a half a mile from me. And all seemingly random, I walk into this bar that I had no intention of walking into on this Thursday night. And there he was. He was like, oh my God, we've got to get together. Oh my God, we've got to have lunch. I've done so much. But he is a successful producer out here, a successful musician out here. He's written several books. Like, this shit is on game. The what you call it? The resolution that I've made, the 2 resolutions that I've made for this year is to do a live musical performance, because I told y'all I'm practicing these instruments. You understand? Is to do at least one live musical performance this year. And to do a live dance performance this year. I've done dance for years and haven't danced, technically in a long time. And I miss dancing. I miss performing, right? And I want to sing. I want to do one singing performance, one instrumental performance, and I want to dance live this year. Those are my resolutions for this year for myself culturally, right? I have a couple of others. I want to do an art series. I want to be featured in a gallery this year. I am an artist and I haven't been in so long. The spirit is kicking my ass about that. So I meet this man who I was in a band with, and we had so much fun in that band. And it was my lack of gratitude that sabotaged the band. It's a story for another day, but I'm telling you what it is. This is what Spirit had me on this morning. Spirit said you could have been successful many times. You had all the equipment. You had all the right people. You could have been successful many times, several times over. You could have owned a home several times over. You have to be grateful in real time. So now you have to be grateful in the past. You have to acknowledge these ways that you have not been grateful. Okay. All right. So that happened. Now, while we there, chit-chatting because I was really just interested, and I knew as soon as I saw him, Debbie Gibson wasn't the reason I walked into that bar. It was to reconnect with him. It was to reconnect with my past through him, right? But I posted on my Facebook page the Debbie Gibson show. I was only there for maybe 2 songs because that shit was crazy. That shit was surreal as fuck. I posted pictures on my stories on my Facebook page. I'll post them in the Temple of Evolutionary group. But baby, first of all, it wasn't until Thursday that I knew that Debbie Gibson was Jewish. I didn't know that, because to be Jewish in America is to be white passing, is to live a white life, is for everybody to know that you are white until it becomes important that people know you're Jewish. All these years, all these decades, I never knew that Debbie Gibson, I don't think the majority of people knew that Debbie Gibson was Jewish. Baby, she wanted y'all to know this week. She wanted y'all to know, bitch, I'm Jewish. Because the background, massive, huge light show background on the back of the stage was the Star of David. She had like the little Hanukkah candelabra thing on the stage. She was dressed in a sparkly white gown, all serene looking and shit. You feel me? The fucking Star of David kept turning around. It was like a visual thing. You know what I'm saying? Almost like a laser light show, but the Star of David spinning around huge on the back of the wall. Baby, she was like, bitch, we up in here. And y'all need to know. You understand? Between every song, Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Honey, she was being a nationalist up in there on Thursday. She was being a Jewish nationalist up in there on Thursday. She wanted y'all to know, bitch, we up in here. I said, goddamn. Even Chris was like, yo, this show has been kind of crazy. I said, word, because I was, like I said, I was literally there for like 2 songs, and then we both got the fuck up out of there. I was like, word? He said, yeah. He said, given what's happening in the world, this is a bold statement this girl making here on the stage. I said, okay. So even Chris was like, this shit a little bit crazy. Baby, she was a straight up Jewish nationalist up in that piece that night. Okay. I was like, this is wild. This is wild. I keep telling y'all, I walk into these scenarios that it's like spirits says, you have to be a witness. You have to be a witness to this. You have to be a witness to this because it's purposeful and it means something. Okay. So that happened. What else happened this week? There was something else big I was going to talk to y'all about. Let me look at my notes. I'm telling y'all, this week has been crazy. And we're entering into Tuesday is the last new moon of the year. It's a big new moon because it's happening on the 12/12 portal. And baby, your dreams, child, your dreams right now. My dreams, I told y'all I got up, even though I have so much to do today. I don't know how I'm gonna accomplish what I got to accomplish today. But I was like, I can't even do shit until I fulfill the commitment to deliver this word that the mother put on my ass this morning. You feel me? So that happened. You understand? And then let me tell you what else happened. So when I woke up, I'm scrambling around trying to find my little notebook. You feel me? Oh, I see T. I see you. T says, my dreams have been confronting people who have wronged me in the past. That's important work. That's important work. You know what I'm saying? So I woke up this morning scrambling around. But of course, the first thing I'm going to do is check my phone. And I click on my IG while I'm scrambling around while this dream is still fresh in my mind before it dissipates. And the first video that comes up on my IG is this dude like a motivational speaker or whatever, but the very first thing that pops up when I am getting up to get ready to do this journaling about being grateful in the past, saying thank you to my past and all of those who made my past, right? Then I wrote it down because I felt this morning. I've been feeling this a lot. Part of my frustration is tied to what this dude had to say. He said, if you stay in environments where people don't recognize the value of you, you will shrink your gifts to the size that they can stand. And that's what causes you anxiety, depression, and stress, because you have shrunk yourself. I refuse to be small because you think small. I'm not shrinking my vision because you can't catch up, roll with me, or get rolled over. And I listened to him say that like 11 times this morning, like 11 times. You feel me? Because it did something, and it spoke to something that happened yesterday. I'm telling you. So he say, if you stay in environments where people don't recognize the value of you, you will shrink your gifts to the size that they can stand. And let me tell you about this, because I'm telling y'all, it's been something that has been, it has been something that has been used as a criticism against me my whole life. My whole life. It has been said in a way to kind of shame me my whole life. And I think this happens to Black people a lot, Black children a lot, because of fear imposed on the Black collective consciousness. My whole life, the words that I have forever heard from friends and family and everybody who claimed to care about me, and they did, but their caring came from a place of fear. And their caring came from a place of the acknowledgement of what has been, not what could be. You dream too big. You dream too big. That can't happen. That's too big. That's too radical. That's too big. You dream too big. You just like your daddy. He was a big dreamer too. You just like your daddy. He was a big dreamer too. You understand? And I couldn't help what I dreamed. You know what I'm saying? I can't help my dreams come through the way that they do. And it wasn't until I spoke my dreams out loud that people would condemn them, that people would reduce them, that people would try to confine them and make them smaller. Well, why don't you think about it like this? Well, why don't you think about doing it like that? Why don't you? But I'm like, no, God damn it, I want big. I want opulent. I want massive. I want global. I see crystal clear in my mind's eye since I was little, the bigness of what was supposed to be me. And I remember the point in my life where I started to allow those criticisms to shape me and shrink me and mold me and conform me. Even as I was I was always rebellious. Tattoos on my face, piercings. I had all kind of piercings in my face. I was always trying to stand out, and I didn't realize that what the rebellion was the rejection of constriction. Me always trying to find a way to break free from constriction imposed on me. And I remember clearly, because I was a teenager, I remember clearly there were certain things I wasn't willing to concede. But I remember clearly when I did start to conform, when I did start to feel myself shaping myself to conformity. You understand? And there was a reason I was mentioning this. Because the guy was talking about like, but it's because, Cassandra, that you've remained in environments where people don't recognize you. They don't recognize who you are. They don't recognize who you incarnated to be. They don't recognize it. They don't know it because they haven't seen it. They've only seen versions of it, mutated versions of it. They have not seen what you have come here to create. And because they cannot imagine it, they cannot see it. Because they have not had any images or visions in their life that would support what it is you say you're here to do, they cannot imagine it. And in the fear of you being Black and female, talking that way in a world that usually attempts in every possible way, even violently, to shut that shit down, to shut that shit up, their fear is what tells you, you dream too big. Don't make so much noise. Be quiet. This is concern. This is a place of concern where this shit comes from. Because women embodied in our blood and in our flesh have a memory of what happens when you are too loud, when you dream too big, when you have too much audacity. We know that violence is attached to that. Too often, violence is attached to power in the possession of women. We saw it all week. I posted that video last week, said, stop calling powerful Black women masculine. And I done posted 325 fucking videos since I've been on YouTube. And of all the videos and all the controversial videos I done, that one video opened the floodgate of violence. Men have been on my shit all week, attempting to do the same thing. Well, you do look like a man. Well, your face kind of look masculine. Well, you do talk kind of masculine. You do present kind of masculine. Well, you just need to get in your feminine energy. And who determines feminine energy for me, bitch? You haven't given birth to any children. You haven't raised or nurtured any humans. You haven't carried any humans on your body or in your body. Who are you to tell me what femininity is? Who defines femininity? These motherfuckers have been on my shit all week on that one video going ham. Y'all don't know it because I blocked them bitches as soon as that bullshit come up. But this is the violence, all attempting to do the same thing. Now theirs is not out of fear. It might be out of fear. Fear of what will happen when women lead. Fear of what will happen when women regain power. Fear of what will happen when women become sovereign fucking beings. I'm not interested in independence. I'm interested in full, total goddamn sovereignty. There's a difference. And that shit is terrifying for motherfuckers who have been able to coast off the energy of the women in their lives, who have been able to survive off the energy of the women in proximity to them. It's terrifying for me to say, stop calling powerful Black women masculine. I am not masculine, bitch. I'm God. I am the all-embodied. I am she. I am she. We are she. Womb holders. We are she. Honey, we are the all-embodied. Your masculinity exists within the context of the mother who gave birth to your masculine ass. It is your mother who gave you your masculinity, boo. It is. Because in the beginning, there was she, and she created he. You see. Every single solitary father on earth was a son before he was a father. But the mother has always been. The mother's always been. Now, I'm saying this because he say, look, check your environment, man. Check your environment. If you're feeling small, if you're feeling stagnant, it might be because your environment is encouraging that shit. Check your peoples. Check your surroundings, because it's easy for us to hide. Oh my God. It is easy for us to hide in environments of mediocrity when we are not feeling our most bodacious self, when we are not feeling our most audacious, when we feel like we may be suffering from imposter syndrome. It is easy for us to seek out mediocrity, spaces of mediocrity, groups of mediocrity. Oh, to make ourselves feel better. But baby, this week she was like, bitch, you better branch out. You better get big. You better get big. Now, I am going to show y'all something. I showed some people on Thursday, but most of y'all weren't present. I got a tattoo. I got a tattoo Friday. Okay? On Friday, I got a tattoo. So it's Thursday, all that crazy shit happened. Friday, some crazy shit happened. That started with me getting this tattoo that is still painful as fuck. And then Saturday, some crazy shit happened. I'm gonna talk to y'all about that in a minute. And then I'm gonna have to figure out how to wrap this shit up so I can go on about my life. But anyway, you aren't gonna be able to see the detail well here because it's still healing and it's got this artificial skin on the top of it. But I got a tattoo. The sun is beaming down in my living room. But I'm gonna stand up so I can show it to you. So I got the Temples logo on my abdomen. Now I went to get it small. Like I was like, okay, I want it about that small, right? Just right between the cleft of my breast. You feel me? That way when I'm belly dancing, because I'm gonna be belly dancing again this year. When I'm belly dancing and I'm got my cute little bustier on, you'll see a perfect little cute circular temple logo right underneath the cleft of my breast. You feel me? I was like, that's the image. She was like, well, you know, you might lose a lot of the detail because of the tattoo or whatever. So you should get it bigger. So I let this sister talk me into, I'm gonna get you the template, Abazi. I promise. I'm gonna get y'all the template. Several people that asked about getting the temples, the logo tattooed, get a template for the temple logo so they can get the tattoo. But this is it. So those of you who are on IG, I'm a massage therapist, so I'm not body shy at all. You understand? So you see, you can't see it good because it's got this kind of like they put artificial skin on it so it can heal and you can shower and shit in it without it like touching your clothes or whatever. So anyway, you'll see it better when the skin comes off tomorrow, right? But anyway, there it is, you guys. Temple logo on my abdomen. It's still gonna be dope when I have my little titties jacked up when I'm doing my little belly dancing or whatever. But there you go. So I did that on Friday, and that was the most gangster shit. I got a bunch of tattoos, but that shit, I was like, I forgot that shit. I felt that in my spirit. As a matter of fact, it was so painful. I might be oversharing, but it was so painful, and my period's been regularly late. And you know, I tell y'all, I can set an alarm clock by my menstrual cycle. So I feel like I'm probably transitioning into my crone years. I'm probably going through menopause. And so I don't even stress it anymore. Like when it comes on, it just comes on. But I had not had any spotting, any evidence that my period was about to come on. But I think between my adrenaline, because this shit right here was painful. And as she got closer to like my xiphoid process and my fucking ribs, I was like, this, she gonna have to stop. She gonna have to stop. We gonna have to pick this shit up later after I get some fucking lidocaine or some motherfucking morphine or some shit to finish this tattoo. It was, and I ain't no lightweight. I ain't no punk. And that shit about smooth took me out. And but anyway, so I got the tattoo, and it was gangster. It was gangster. But anyway, I think between the adrenaline and the pain, my period came on like I could feel it come on when during the tattoo, and it was 2 weeks late. And y'all know I'm not sexually active. Y'all know I'm celibate. So it was like, that's why I haven't been tripping in the change. So anyway, my period came on Friday. The next day, I'm telling y'all a whole bunch of stories, but I'm telling y'all it's all connected. Saturday, I was invited to go to a retreat. So I have been volunteering for this organization called Critical Mass Dance Company for about 2 years now. And every season change, they do a wellness event in this community garden in El Sereno, and I offer free cupping at this event every year, right? And so for the healers and the people who volunteer for the event, once a year they do like a day-long healing, like a day-long retreat where we get together, talk about the year, do some sound bath, whatever. So that happened yesterday. And I just started my period the day before. And so I was feeling really frustrated. I was feeling really frustrated in the traffic. I was feeling really frustrated when I got there. I like my attitude was funky. I was like, okay, it's my period. I just need to like zen shit, right? This woman, now I'm sharing a lot right now. This woman came and she was doing the sound bath. I met this woman relatively soon after I got to California, black woman. I went to this Ile. It was a Yoruba Ifa temple in LA. And I only went a couple of times because there was hardly anybody in the space that looked like me. All the Ifa practitioners were white Brazilians. And I just wasn't comfortable. They were all, I mean, like the majority, like me and the Baba who ran the temple were the only brown skinned people in there. Everybody else was either mixed race or straight up blonde hair, blue eye Ifa practitioners. And I'm spoiled, so I was like, whatever. But this sister was one of the black skinned people that I saw there. And I go out of my way, especially when it's us, I go out of my way, like, hey sister, how you doing? Whatever, whatever. And her energy was, from the day I met her, was always so dismissive. And I know that energy. It was so dismissive. It was so like, that's just the best word, dismissive. About 6 or 7 months later, I saw her again. I was volunteering every year at this thing, this native event called the Many Winners Gathering of the Elders. It's a 4-day event. And every year since I've been here, I've volunteered for this event. So I saw her maybe 3 years ago at one of the Many Winners gatherings. And Many Winners gatherings is native. It's all native. And so, you know, when you see black people, you see black people, because all weekend, all 4 days, you may see 3, maybe, perhaps, right? And I'm one of them who's volunteering. She was at one. I was like, oh, cool. So this is my attempt after the first time, you know what I'm saying, to give her the benefit of the doubt. You feel me? And so I was like, I went up to her and I was like, hey, you know, how you doing? We met at the so-and-so. And she's like, oh, hey. Extremely dismissive and condescending in her behavior. Now, this woman is a priest in the tradition. Okay. So I was like, okay, you understand? Don't have to tell me twice. So, well, apparently you do. Apparently you do have to tell me twice, because I gave you the benefit of the doubt. But after that second time, I was like, okay, I see you. Because I watched the way she walked around that space with these indigenous people all week, all day. She was there for 1 day. So inviting, smiling, you know, walking around all peaceful, like in her all whites. You feel me? So nice. So welcoming, so engaging to everyone there except the one other black woman in the space. I said, okay, I see you. I see you. You understand? And so fast forward, one of the events that I volunteered at with this organization, Critical Mass Dance Company, I think it was maybe this year that they started inviting her to, because she's a healer. She's like a renowned healer in the area. So they started inviting her to do sound bath meditation and like a water ritual or water ceremony at the event. And so she was there. Same thing. In these spaces, there ain't but a couple of us. Ain't but a handful of us. You feel me? And she, even at this event, she does not go out of her way. And I stopped going out of my way. After the second time of you like being standoffish and dismissive in your presentation, cool, I get it. You don't need me to speak to you. That's cool. But now we share in these intimate spaces. And I am not the one to go out the way, dear. I'm not. Not anymore. Not with her. Not with a learned experience. Now, y'all know me. I'll meet. There ain't no strangers. I'll meet anybody anywhere. It's cool. It's all love. But once you show me your ass, I know who you are. And I'm telling you this because something else I want to talk to you about, I think this is going to be the last thing, is oh no, okay, we still got another 40 minutes. Is, you know, people's presentation being their presentation is what makes them spiritual. I talked about this with y'all a lot. Greetings. Who is tuning in from Facebook? Because for whatever reason, Facebook won't show who you are. It just says Facebook user. It's the only medium that does that. Everybody else, I can see that it's, that so and so tuning in from YouTube or whatever. But Facebook, I don't know what that is. But who is it that is tuning in from Facebook? Oh, okay. Hey, Chloe. Yeah, I'm not saying anybody's name, but regardless, this is what it was. So anyway, one of the things that I have seen throughout this country and throughout spaces, not just spiritual spaces, but also political spaces. Okay, so if you just, Chloe, if you just go to YouTube and put at Daughter of the Fates, one word, at Daughter of the Fates, then you will be able to see that. You'll be able to see the live and click right on it. Go into the little tabs across. It'll say live. Go to the live tab and you'll see it there. Just at Daughter of the Fates. I don't know why you didn't see it or why it didn't come up, but yeah. Okay, so anyway, yesterday at this retreat, she did a sound bath offering. Same thing, you guys. There wasn't but like 8 people that showed up for the retreat. And she waltzed around the room hugging and kissing everyone and barely gave me a head nod. I was like, I cannot let this dumbass shit right here get on my nerves today. She ain't the reason I came up in here. I cannot let this dumbass shit get on my nerves. Several things happened during the day, and it's not cute. And I'm just going to tell y'all right now, you will never see me fake it this shit. You won't. I'm opposed to it. You will never see me fake at this shit. That's why I opened an hour and 22 minutes ago saying that we have grown so accustomed to separating spirituality from the rest of our lives. Each part of our life has its own little cubicle, and it never crosses over these little cubicles. I don't live that way. I have never lived that way. And that's why every now and again, I will go through what I recognize for you is the very necessary pomp and circumstance around ritual and spirituality. But I'm sitting in here in my night dress, you feel me? Showing y'all my belly tattoo. Y'all gonna get me blood raw. Now, if that don't fucking rock, if that don't fit your frame of what spirituality is supposed to be or supposed to look like, I'm gonna share the forgiveness prayer. Sister, don't worry. I ain't forgot you. I have it sitting right here looking at me. But if that don't fit your frame for what you think spirituality is supposed to be, that's why y'all get caught the fuck up. That's how people end up in cults. That's how people end up victimized in these churches. That's how people end up victimized in spiritual spaces. That's how people get caught the fuck up in so-called revolutionary organizations, is because you think the pomp and circumstance is the spirituality, and it ain't. You think the clothing and the attire and the presentation is the spirituality, and it ain't. We done sat here reading Pure Lust for weeks. And she tells us, even in the Great Cosmic Mother, all these years ago, y'all got caught up. Y'all got caught up in this Gandhi bullshit. Oh, he's so stoic. He wears white robes and walks around in such a stoic and defined demeanor, and he talks in prose. And he was a diabolical bastard. Okay? Mother Teresa walked around kissing babies and the like, making stoic quotes. Meanwhile, she was diabolical. The Pope has his scepter and his garb, and he waves as if always on a float. Yet he governs the most wicked institution on the face of the goddamn planet. That's why y'all stay caught up. Because it becomes difficult, damn near impossible, for you to see me in my night clothes first thing on a Sunday morning with no makeup on, my hair undid, you feel me? Barefoot, sitting Indian style on my couch with an attitude because I ain't ate breakfast yet, and Spirit still be able to have her way with me and communicate something to you that you need on this here morning. You cannot see spirituality in its bare, naked, raw, unfinished form and accept that it is the goddess having her way with me because she got something to say this morning and she woke my ass up at 3:17 to make sure y'all know. So this woman doing her sound bath and being all super spiritual. But when it came time to share, listen, and y'all know me, I don't talk about people like that. I'm not condemning her. Her spiritual walk is her own, but I'm talking about directly in our relationship and interactions that have been ongoing since I got to California. I know you, and I know people like you. You judge me and see yourself as somehow more spiritual than me, above me. So you look down on me. You dismiss me. You understand? So we were in sharing. So after the sound bath was over, we were in sharing. A sister says something about what she was experiencing. And I don't even remember what the nature of it was, but I was like, oh my God, yes. I was like, oh my God. Oh, what she was talking about. Okay, well, I won't say what she was talking about for confidentiality's sake or whatever, but what she said, I deeply resonated. Oh, I don't even have to say her name. Confidentiality is still, I ain't saying no names. Okay, so what happened was she was like, I've been going through these changes where I'm realizing, because I'm being more present, that all of my best friends are ex-lovers. I was like, damn. She said, all of my best friends are ex-lovers, and we spend quality time together. We love each other. We show up for each other. We just recognize we couldn't be in intimate partner relationships, but we're wonderful friends. But then it got me to thinking, I have all these female friends, like all my male friends who are ex-lovers. We do things together. We have fun. We go places. We go out. We have dinner at the house. We do things. But all my female friends, all we do is do work together, like this work. All my female friends, all we do is do work together. And I was like, oh my God, she's right. All my female friends are people that, like, we share like worldviews, because women, when we come together, we trying to change the world. Every time we come together, we trying to change the world. We plotting and scheming on how we change the world. How we going to change the world? How we going to change the circumstances in our community? How we going to help sister so-and-so or whatever. I was like, you are right. And so I was reiterating something that we had just read from Pure Lust the night before, because it was relevant in that moment. And I quoted what the dude said from our reading just the night before this damn retreat. It was relevant when the dude said, what he said, all the geniuses who are born women are lost to the public good. Because all we do is do for others. All we do is serve others. And so we squander our genius. He said it. All the geniuses born women are lost to service and public good. You feel me? I was like, oh my God, this is us. We have to play. Sometimes we have to get together and just bullshit. Sometimes we have to get together and just have dinner and drinks. You know what I'm saying? It can't be eat because the retreat was dope, but like, this is work still. Y'all had to work. Y'all had to do stuff, prepare, and this and that and the other. This is work, right? So here I am agreeing with the sister and just piggybacking off what she say. And then this same Black woman, her response was to undermine what the fuck I just said. Well, whatever works for you, and whatever works for her works for her. She said it. I said, so now it's not my imagination. You got issue with me. So what is it? Because you spoke to the other two. There was only one other Black woman other than myself. Everybody else was Mexican, right? We go into these other spaces. You speak to the one or two other Black women, but you go out of your way to avoid me. So now I got to start thinking to myself, well, damn, like, did I inadvertently offend this motherfucker sometime or something? I was like, so one or two things is happening because she dark as me, so it can't be colorism. Well, it still can be colorism, but it ain't colorism. She dark as I am. You feel me? The other sisters that I've seen her talk to, dark as I am. So I was like, okay, is it you fat phobic? Because I'm a big bitch, you feel me? And big bitches don't exist like that. You don't see a lot of big fat women out here. You don't. You feel me? Everybody's so like figure conscious or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, well, you got to have set your sights on me for some reason. So what is it? You understand? Have you seen something on my YouTube channel that has offended you? But I didn't have a YouTube channel when I met her and she was being funky. So what is it? You feel me? It might be fat phobia because women display that shit often. Somehow diminishing the value of who I am or who you think I may be in the space because I ain't a stick figure. You feel me? I don't give a fuck what it is. It was obvious yesterday, especially once she made that intervention. Well, now even as me and the sister are looking back and forward, me and the Mexican sister are looking back and forward, talking to each other, you feel me? And she's like, yeah, damn, that quote is crazy. Yeah, she vibing on what I'm talking about because it is in alignment. I wasn't trying to undermine what the sister said. I would not do that. I was like, let me tell you what this book that was written in 1983 is talking about, how under the guise of public service and public good, we disappear ourselves. Our genius is squandered in the quote, just doing and churning out, crisis managing all the time. Our genius is squandered. That's what you're talking about right here. Why even as we get together in women, we still working. But here you with your male companions and y'all, it's all fun and all love. I was like, this is a word that you just preached, sis. This is a word you just preached. And then her ass gonna come in. Well, what works for you might not necessarily work for her. Spirit is just telling me. That's what she did. Spirit is just telling me. What might work for you might not work for her. What works for you might not work for her, and vice versa. You just have to figure out how it all fits together. You know what I'm saying? But because you all stoic, you're in your all whites, you walk around the room. She did a whole thing, walked around the room like she was gliding like a ghost for about 30 minutes in preparation for the sound bath. Checking the corners for evil spirits, I suppose. Lighting the sage like she's a ballet dancer. I'm not gonna do that shit, okay? So if that's the kind of spirituality you looking for, it's a dime a dozen. You can find it. And no shade, child. No harm, no foul. What you will get from me is blood raw and butt naked and on the terms that I set in the moment or how I feel spiritually. That's what you will get. You will get blood raw. When I say blood raw, I mean pure, unadulterated honesty. That's why I don't have any problem sharing with you guys my journey through my own spiritual walk, recognizing in a moment when I have been in error and being present enough with the mother to go back and write for an hour and a half all the names of those people who have shown up for me, and I did not properly express gratitude for their presence in my life. That I have to be I have to be grateful in my past as much as I am grateful in my present. To recognize, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. It's 10:35 now, so we'll go to 11 because we usually do temple service for 2 hours. But I'm going to tell you, this is not my imagination, okay? My dreams have been increasingly prophetic. She is sharpening my skills. I'm telling you, I will have dreams about something. Let me close this blind because this shit is blinding me at this point. Oops, sorry about that, you guys on IG. I can still talk to you though, but I'm gonna tell you, there are things that have been happening in my dreams that don't make any sense to me in my dream. And then the very same day or the very next day, within 24 to 48 hours, that thing that did not have an explanation in my dream happens. That has been happening for about 3 weeks now. I'm telling you, this shit that I opened with about the Pluto returns and these messages coming through much more often, much more clearly, our senses being sharpened, the requirement for us to be ever so present, to always hear. What did I say in the very beginning? Do you see signs? Do you hear signs? Do you recognize? Are you present enough, no matter where you are and what you're doing? Are you present enough to mark a moment when spirit is communicating with you? Because that is the requirement right now. And so I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You will never have me out here so super spiritual that I treat people like this woman has been treating me since she met me. You won't have me do it. You will not have me think that somehow I haven't arrived at a level of spirituality that gives me the right to mistreat humans, that I have become so above in spirituality that it gives me the authority to diminish and demote human beings. You won't have me do it. You will never catch me doing no bullshit like that. Ooh, solitaire wisdom. I'm about to post your comment because thank you. Thank you, T. Thank you, T. Thank you, Brooklyn native. Thank you, Shauna Michelle. Listen, they all saying the same thing. People jealous about anything, intimidated by your presence. Yeah, it's giving mean girl jealousy. Solitaire says, has it occurred to you that you are a magic mirror? That when people see you, they see their own darkness, and it's not Cassandra they are avoiding, but their own shadow? I accept and receive it. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Because I say this all the time, man. That's why I lay myself bare on this bitch. Can't nobody come back. Ain't nobody gonna be able to come back and try to shame me on my past, on my life. Nobody. Not the state, not jealous motherfuckers, not evil motherfuckers, not the Illuminati, not no motherfucking body is gonna be able to come back and try to expose me or shame me from my past. I lay my shit butt naked on here because this is what the evolutionary process looks like. It's ongoing. It's ongoing. It's all the time. It's every day we're made better. Every day we're made new. Our experiences do that. The interactions that we have with other people do that. Yesterday was amazing. And I could have stayed in my feelings about how this woman was treating me in sacred space. But I didn't, because there was so much other wonderful shit that was happening. So much. So much happened yesterday in that retreat that was impactful. Child, I had a moment. We were talking about these. We got these little rest cards, and each one of us had to pull a rest card. My rest card, the rest card that I pulled, said, sometimes More than often, silence is a form of rest. I said, what the fuck? Because y'all know I had laryngitis for a week last week. And then out of a whole deck of 99 cards, I pulled the card that says rest is more often than not, silence is a form of rest. Okay. I just got, y'all can still hear the raspiness in my voice. I just got my voice back. I had laryngitis for a week. And as soon as I lost my voice, I was like, okay, I get it. I knew spirit was kicking my ass. Shut the fuck up. Because you're going to be tempted to push through. You're going to be tempted to be up on this internet every day. You're going to be tempted to do these lives every day. And you need to shut your mouth. Your throat chakra need a motherfucking break, bitch. So I know you ain't going to take a break. So here, let us just do it for you. And then that's the card I pulled yesterday. And I shared that with the group. I was like, yo, y'all ain't going to believe this shit. They were all like, oh my God, did that actually happen? I said, I have not. I said, today is day 4 that I've had my voice back. I'd been without my voice for a week. Just last week. They were like, whoa. I said, and that, ladies, is how loud spirit speaks right now. Not subtle, not subtle. So another sister, 2 sisters in a row, pulled their rest cards, and their rest cards was about the power of daydreaming. Listen to me. About the power of daydreaming and how daydreaming is a form of rest that allows you to connect with spirit and allows you through creative mind and imaging to create with spirit. And I start crying. I'm like, oh my God. I start weeping. I don't cry easily, y'all. I don't. I start weeping. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. They're like, what's the matter? I said, a memory I had forgotten just came through. A memory I had forgotten just came through. They were like, what memory? I said, I daydreamed a lot when I was a little girl. It came through so clear, this memory, in this moment. I was in the 1st grade. My 1st grade teacher was Miss Walker. I don't know what I think I was daydreaming about flying or something. I was in the back of the classroom. I'm looking out of the window and I'm swinging my hands like this. I am like literally out of body. I'm swinging my hands like this. And Miss Walker says, Cassandra, she hits her ruler on the Cassandra, tell us what you're thinking about since you obviously aren't thinking about the lesson. I was like shook out of my dream. I was like, nothing. She wanted to humiliate me for daydreaming. She brought me to the front of the classroom and made me do jumping jacks in front of the whole classroom because my arms were doing like this. And she was like, if you want to do jumping jacks, we'll just invite you to the front. And this white woman made me do jumping jacks in front of the classroom. All the kids were laughing at me. And then she took me out into the hallway. It was the first time I had received a paddling. I got 3 licks on my backside for daydreaming in class. That was the memory that came out yesterday. In that simple moment where we're just sharing our rest cards together. And I didn't realize that shit was still in me in a way that would move me to tears. That this woman didn't just want to maintain control of the classroom, as it were. She wanted to take a 5-year-old girl and humiliate her in front of this classroom. She wanted to suppress any dreams coming forward in this little Black girl's mind in real time. 5 years old was the first time I had some white person put their fucking hands on me under the guise of disciplining me for daydreaming. That happened yesterday. I did not remember that until yesterday. That I was punished at 5 years old with a wooden paddle with holes in it so it would hurt more. for daydreaming in class. These are the moments that fucking anchor in us as children, as defining moments, whether we're conscious of them or not. But Spirit was like, you have to move this. You have to move this memory. Because as soon as I said that shit, the two sisters that pulled the daydream cards, they were like, well, we taking a moment. We're going to take a moment to surround baby Cassandra. We're going to take a moment to protect and cover. This is what the sister said. To protect and cover baby Cassandra, who had to endure this moment. We are supporting her. We are covering her. Child, look, that happened yesterday. So while we are having these experiences as healers, where we want to show up for each other because we do all this great healing work for others, this was all healers in the space yesterday. And to have to endure the nastiness from a woman, this sister is beautiful. Statuesque, this girl got to be 5'11", bald head, got her, she got her hand of V5 and her Lake's on, and she dressed in all white. I said, you cannot have it, boo. You cannot have it. Whatever it is you got going on that's got you so disdainful of my presence in space. And I get it. I've been in spaces like this before. I hate to think that this is what it is, but it probably is. Anybody Black that spent any significant period of time around white people, they will notice that there is this energy of jealousy. Like, I think, who was it? It was Chris Rock. Oh my God. It was Chris Rock that did a skit about it. He was talking about how when you have a lot of white friends, you become really protective of that space as the one Black friend. And when another Black person comes on the scene, you become possessive. Like, these are my white people. Go find your own white people. These are my white people. You go find your own white people. But there wasn't no white people in the space, but that energy was still there. It's always been there because it's always been within the context of either Native people or Mexica people, Mexican people, with that I've seen this woman in space. It's never been a space where it's all us, where it's all Africans, where it's all Black people. It's always been in a space where we might be the 1, 2, or 3 Black people in a space with Native or Mexican people. And I was like, isn't this interesting? Even in the absence of white people, this white supremacy shit still exists. Like, where do you think I'm about to take your Mexican people from? Where do you think I'm about to take your Native people from? Am I encroaching on spiritual space that solely belongs to you? Like, can you be the only spiritual authority in this space? Is that what you giving off right now? Because it's real weird, this shit. Especially after I've gone out of my way several times with this sister to receive the same interaction each time. You feel me? And so it was really hard for me yesterday because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person where I got to have an attitude with another African, especially. Like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be mad at the one. There was only 3 Black women in the space. I don't want, and the other sister, cool. She always cool. She always outgoing. She's bubbly. She's like a Black fairy. Hey, just always outgoing. You feel me? But her. And I didn't want to be in this space that's set up to give back to the healers that have been giving to this event every season. For this to be like, damn, this motherfucker right here, like, what the fuck is up? This is not cool. I don't even want that to be in my head. You feel me? I'm gonna tell you, Carlotta, and somebody else said it too. Carlotta and Sister Solitaire Wisdom, and Carlotta, I'm gonna post your comment because you are not the first person to tell me this. Abasi came here 2 summers ago, I think. It was in 2020, the summer of 2020. Abasi came and hung out with me for about 4 or 5 days. And something happened, and I introduced him to a few people, and there was one person in particular that didn't say anything directly off-putting or anything like that, But when we left, he said, his exact quote was, "That bitch hates you." I was like, "Get the fuck out of here. She don't hate me." He was like, "Yep, I'm telling you, that bitch hates you." I was like, "Why would you say that?" He was like, "Let me clarify. If she don't hate you, she is jealous. She is horribly jealous of you." And it can't, he was like, "This girl don't know me." And the stuff that she was saying in my presence, it was fucked up. It was foul in a like insidious, slick ass kind of way. He's like, "That bitch hates you." I said, "But you know me, I stay seeing the best in humanity. I like motherfuckers. I like people. I like people. I like human beings." So sometimes it becomes difficult for me to see that even when somebody is smiling in my face, they may not have my best in. Bossy say, I remember that. They may not have my best intention. You know, they're my best interest at heart. They may not mean me well, you know, and I got my hater blockers on, so it ain't causing me no harm. You feel me? I keep my hater blockers on. You feel me? But it was just this. It's always disheartening when it's some shit with a sister, man. I don't know. It just fucks me up more. I love everybody that I'm friends with, the white people that I'm friends with out here, the Mexican people that I'm friends with out here, everybody that I'm friends with out here. I have love for them. I love them because I love people. I love humans, and I have to love humans if I believe what I say about the future that we're trying to create. I have to love people. It does not mean that I do not know their tendencies as a group and how those tendencies impact individual behavior. I'm aware. So I appreciate this kind of confirmation that y'all are sending out about being intimidated by power and the fear that comes with that. Your aura, T says, and energy is probably very loud and powerful and can be intimidating to some, but that's not your problem. I accept that. It is. I accept it, and at the same time that I accept it, it makes life more lonely than it should be. But even when I was telling you guys about all these nasty ass comments that have been coming through on that video that I posted this week about stop calling powerful Black women masculine, hateful, disgusting, foul fucking comments coming through on that video. And I was surprised because I thought I would be like, my feelings would be hurt. I was like, am I going to be intimidated or am I going to be insecure when this stuff starts happening? Because I already foresaw that it was eventually going to happen. And I was unmoved. Block, delete. If it was violent, report, block, delete. But you don't get no spot on my block. That's the only reason you here is to try to siphon my motherfucking energy that you can't have. You just trying to get a spot on my block that you can't have. You can't have it. So be the fuck somewhere else with that bullshit. Let somebody else fucking engage you in that bullshit. Not a word of response. Not a fuck you, not nothing. Block, insignificant, delete. You understand? So that's that. I wanted to talk to you about, because I got up this morning on one. Thank you, Shauna Michelle. Yes, baby. I'm not about to dampen my shit. I'm not about to dim my light. I'm not about to perform fucking fleshly origami. I'm not gonna fold in on myself. I'm not gonna make myself smaller. I'm gonna remain, as long as I do remain, fat, Black, loud, unabashed, quiet when I need to be, but forceful all the time. My voice, I was uncomfortable with my voice for a long time because everybody kept saying my voice is so masculine. My voice is so masculine. Why your voice so deep? Why your voice so deep? And that's gonna be a show that I'm gonna do. That's gonna be an episode that I am going to do about how women speak in the octaves that are much higher than their natural voice as a default defense mechanism and don't even realize it. Oh yeah, I've done it. I spent many years not speaking in my own voice. And then I heard a child on a cartoon say the same thing. This isn't my real voice. This is a kid. This isn't my real voice, but people will see me differently if they heard my real voice. So I have to talk like this, but it gets tiring sometimes. And I just want people to like me for who I am, not what I sound like. This is a child on a cartoon. He says, if they knew that I really talk like this, they wouldn't be my friends. I saw two other little sisters say something about code switching as a defense mechanism doesn't make us any less Black. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Shauna Michelle. She said, or purposely sounding like children, like Paris Hilton. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's been my lesson. Continue to be loud, proud, and powerful. Stop molding and shrinking myself to make them more comfortable. Oh, it's about to get real uncomfortable in this bitch. It's about to get real uncomfortable. And I'm here for every square inch of it. I'm here for every moment of it. I watched a movie last night. I don't know why I watched it, because it always looked corny to me. But baby, 3 minutes into the movie, I was like, oh my God. We have to watch this movie. The symbolism in this, I'm going to do a movie review of it. I ain't done a movie review for y'all in a long time. I've been promising one for a long time. I'm going to do a movie review. Y'all going to laugh when I tell you the movie, but I was like, what the entire holy fucking hell. I watched the movie Shazam, the second one. Shazam, The Fury of the Gods last night. And then after that one, I watched the first one. Back to back last night. Shazam, The Fury of the Gods. Watch the second one first. And then the first one I watched after that. Y'all, they don't even try to hide the shit no more. They don't even try to hide the shit anymore. They intend, this is the period. They intend to start murdering women. They intend to start trying women. They intend to initiate witch trials again. They intend to resurrect the father yet again. And they don't even hide it. It's butt naked. This movie, Shazam, had me fucked up in my living room last night. That shit had me fucked up last night. I said, oh my God. This shit had me fucked up last night. When that white boy came up out the ground after he had died, in front, he was resurrected, child, in front of the tree of life. Y'all. Oh my God. I was like, they don't even have to be subtle because we don't watch. They don't even have to be subtle because we are not watching. When they buried this motherfucker in the ground, and the one God left on earth, the demigod, Wonder Woman, takes the staff of knowledge and strikes the ground with it. And he who had previously been buried after sacrificing his life for humanity is resurrected at the base of the tree of life. Y'all. And Wonder Woman is his daughter. He was resurrected by his daughter. Child, that shit fucked me up last night. I might have to do a movie review about that because that shit had me. I was sitting there wanting to take down notes and quotes and shit. When them two women bum rushed the museum in Greece to steal back their shit, they shit. But they've been asleep for 6,000 years. And they come to get their shit. And the police was coming after the women. And the one woman who is a representative of Oya, yes, she is. They say, your father is Hades, and I see why. Because all you want is revenge. She don't harm people by touching them. She whispers into their ears, unleash the chaos. And they become possessed. Woocha. It was crazy last night. Anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you, because it's 11 o'clock. because there's so much more, but that was a lot. I told you a lot happened in this last week, and the day ain't over. I got a lot of shit to do today and some things happening today. But anyway, hey, good morning, people. Came in late, but just in time as usual. Thank you, great mother. I see you, Janisa. I love that name. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna share with you 2 prayers. So what I was called to do this morning was to tell you the forgiveness prayer. I can email it to you too. Okay, so releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. Releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. Okay. Put prayer in the subheader if that's what you're, reaching out to me for, and I can send you this. So the forgiveness prayer, like I said, was shared with me when I got my Akashic records open. I'm going to tell you the forgiveness prayer. And then I created a gratitude prayer because that was my meditation this morning. So I created a gratitude prayer that was kind of based on the format of the forgiveness prayer. Janisa says, just saw that movie too. Noticed that they had a black man taking the power of the goddess from the women who are the children of the gods. Yes, 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 yes. And why do these Negroes always put themselves in positions to be the low-key villains? Because that's what he was. That's what he was. He was the villain in the movie. He was the villain. You understand? What about the first one where, what was it? He, as the representative of all the power of, what was it? Hermes, Zeus, who else? Solomon. He named them all. Solomon, Zeus, Hermes, Mercury, Saturn. He named them all. He was the black man, was a singular personification of all the powers of all the gods. And he was the last one standing because he had to what? Hold captive the 7 deadly sins. Remember that? The demons that were the 7 deadly sins. Remember that? Now we just talking in anyway, I don't want to go. We gonna save this discussion for another day. But y'all, that's y'all homework assignment. If you so care to endeavor. I never thought I would watch Shazam. It always seemed corny to me. And I'll tell you why it seemed corny to me. It's because there is always this way that this society props up mediocrity as the hero, mediocrity as the salvation, mediocrity as the healer and the savior of the world. Mediocrity becomes the hero, becomes the standard. You understand? So anyway, I never thought I would see the movie. I don't know why I clicked on it last night, but Spirit had a word. And she was like, can you see? Can you see? Anyway, so the forgiveness prayer, then the gratitude prayer. I'm going to say, and then I'm going to close out for the day so I can shift gears into this other stuff that I have to do. Oh, also one more thing. For those of you who may not have seen the post that I made on IG and on my Facebook channel, I have started printing the logo, the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence's logo. I have started printing in large pulse posters. The posters are 24 by 36. I can get them in 18 by 24, but this is a nice size. So this is the full logo that y'all have seen in the paintings in the painting that I have petitioned when we have the altar set up for the temple services, right? So anyway, these posters are available for purchase. They are $36 plus. I'm still trying to figure out the shipping because I haven't been able to find. I'm gonna have to try to go on Uline, but right now I'm saying probably about $7 in shipping and handling, just because I'm having a hard time finding the. If it's less than that, I'll let you know. But right now, if you want a poster of the logo of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, then those are $36. And that's for the 24 by 36. If you decide that you want the smaller one, 18 by 24, we can do that for 27. So 27 for the 18 by 24, 36 for the 24 by 36. That is the temple's official logo. Same logo I just had tattooed on my abdomen Friday. For those who came on late, I don't know if y'all can see it. For those that came on late. For those of you who have been asking for a template for the logo, I'm gonna get it to you. I'm gonna get it to you. We had to draw this thing from scratch because the painting, has all the background work, and I just wanted the serpent and the sigil. So I will get that to you. I will get that to you soon. If you're interested and you want to get the temple's logo, because I'm only saying it because several people have asked. I think it's dope. If you want to get the temple's logo tattooed on you, awesome. Let me know. Send me an email, releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. Releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. And put in the subject header tattoo. Okay, cool. Now, the forgiveness prayer, and then we're going to close out. Oh, make donations to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. I don't know why I can't see any of my people or anything on IG. Make donations to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. Make contributions. I started working on, I might do another live tonight, you guys, because I did a reading at 3:00 this morning after waking up from that dream. Janisa says, yes, to making an esoteric movie review about Shazam. I'm showing up ready with the popcorn. All right, I'm gonna make it priority on my list of things to do. So make contributions. I am going to also write out the list of people that have donated up until this point, because so many people have donated to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. I want to keep that coming in, and I want to keep people abreast of what's coming in. So I will make a list. Maybe I'll do that tonight, depending upon how late I get out of this event. Okay, so the forgiveness prayer. I talked about this for a long time, so if you came in late, just go back to the beginning. The forgiveness prayer. If there's anyone or anything that has hurt me in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it. If I have hurt anyone or anything in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it. If I have hurt myself in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive and release it for the highest good of myself and the all. That is the prayer, the forgiveness prayer. And then the gratitude prayer that I wrote this morning, based off the format of the forgiveness prayer. To all of those persons, places, or things that have helped me in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I am forever grateful to you in the name of the Mother. To all of those persons, places, or things that I have been blessed to help in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I am forever grateful in the name of the Mother. To myself, who I've been fortunate enough. To myself, who I have been fortunate enough to help in the past, knowingly or unknowingly, I am forever grateful in the name of the Mother for the highest good of myself and the all. Now, like I said, I can send these to you via email because I know I went through that really fast. So if you want it typed out, I can email it to you. The assignment, at least for the forgiveness prayer, when I was given to it, it says, work with the prayer for 33 consecutive days. Our past, what is considered the past in that prayer, is anything prior to this breath. Everything prior to this breath is the past. After each section, take a deep breath. Use at the end of the day to clear away negativity that builds up walls of separation. So that's the prayers and the assignments. Yes. So that is all. I did a reading today. So maybe tonight I'll do another live and give you the Cliff's notes of the reading, because the reading was so on point to the dream and some other things that have been happening. The reading was actually pretty goddamn dynamic this morning. And then also, the last thing I want to say is some housekeeping. So I will begin tomorrow, like always. Not tomorrow. Today is Saturday, right? Okay. Is today Saturday or Sunday? Today is Sunday. Today is Sunday. So tomorrow I will be picking up on the reading of Pure Lust by Mary Daly. But also this week is a big week. 12/12 portal, and the new moon lands on the 12/12 portal. So tomorrow, maybe tonight, I think I'll do it tonight. I'll do a brief live talking to you, as it'll be more like an astrological / reading live that we've been doing in the past, when we're coming upon big events, big energetic shifts and events. So I'm going to talk to you about the 12/12 portal. I'm going to talk to you about the energy of this new moon in Sagittarius that's happening on Tuesday. I am going to be doing readings all day Tuesday. It is the last new moon of the year. I will be doing readings all day. I want you guys to help me fill up my day of readings. I am doing a discount on the readings. So the readings that I do, I either do the Medicine Woman Inner Guidebook Tarot. I read the I Ching. I do dream interpretation. Excuse me. And then on the other side of my brain is I also do health and wellness, full health and wellness consults. Those of you who have had the consults or have had the readings, please feel free to shout me out so that people can get an idea of how those readings have impacted your life, what you got from those readings. So I want to fill up my day. I can have my day allotted on Tuesday for it was 12, because I'm working all day on Tuesday. It's a big energetic day. That's all the work I want to do on Tuesday. So I have it allotted for 20 half-hour readings. The half-hour readings are discounted right now through the end of the year. For $72. $72 for the 30 minutes, which is usually $85, and $144. Is that right? Yeah, $144 for the 1 hour meeting. That's usually $150. Okay, so those are both being discounted all day, actually throughout the rest of the year. But in particular, I really encourage people to get readings on big energetic days. 12/12 portal is a big energetic day historically, not just quote because spiritual people say it's a big energetic day. I was going through like all of the historical things that have happened on 12/12, politically, culturally, spiritually, and it's a big energetic day, and it is corresponding with a new moon. This is the day that I encourage you, and it's a great way to kick off the new year, is to get a reading on a big energetic day. We have several big energetic days happening this month. We have the 12/12 portal, which is Tuesday. We have obviously the winter solstice on the 21st. The 22nd is a big energetic day to get a reading. The 22nd is Global Orgasm Day. Global Orgasm Day. Bitch, need to get a reading on Global Orgasm Day. You feel me? That's my personal position, right? So these are really big energetic days that you can be looking forward to. My readings are discounted for the rest of the year, for the rest of the month. My readings are discounted. I'll probably do bigger discounts around the holiday thing or whatever. But right now, the 1 hour reading that's usually $150, that is $144. The 30-minute reading that is usually $85 is $72. Okay. Yes, the readings are conducted via Zoom if you do not live in the area. Okay. So, and even if you live in the area, I mostly conduct through Zoom. If you want to do a live reading, that's fine. Like if you want to come to my spot, that's fine. But yes, so if you're not in the area, I set up a Zoom conference for you, and then I give you I email you the results of your reading, the recording of your reading afterwards, so that you can refer back to it. Okay. So, so I have 12 1 hour spots, 20 20 30-minute slots for Tuesday. Okay. So that's all. So if you're wanting to get a reading, or if you're wanting to do a wellness consultation, which also lasts an hour, and you get a written report with that wellness consultation, then email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com and put consult or reading in the subject header. Please always put a subject header, because so much, I'm getting so many emails that are new to me that a lot of them are getting kicked into spam, and that's the only way that I know what they are when I go and check my spam. Put a subject header in it: reading, donation, consult, volunteer, whatever it is you're reaching out about. Please put a subject header. Okay, I am going to close out tonight. I'm going to come back and do a live just so I can talk with you guys about the reading that I did. Every time I do a reading for myself, it's for the temple too. And I felt like so much of what came through in the reading that I pulled this morning at 3 is going to be impactful for all of us. So I'll go ahead tonight, come back. I don't know what time yet, but I'll give y'all plenty of notice because I have an event that I have to set up at. I'll come back and do a live about the reading, the results of the reading that I did this morning, and also get you guys prepped and hyped about booking your appointments for Tuesday, the 12/12 portal / new moon reading that you want to get yourself before we move any further. Okay, that being said, this is Cassandra Faye Floyd, also known as Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. I love you all. I respect you all. I appreciate the time that you spent with me this morning. It has enlivened me, because I really didn't want to go do this event that I'm about to go do, but now it makes me feel like I can go conquer some things. And so that being said, I will see you guys later on this evening, not too late in the evening, but later on this evening. And then again tomorrow with the continued reading of Pure Lust by Mary Daly. All right. Peace, love, abundance, all aligned with justice.